What if everything you thought you knew about the moon was wrong? What if that bright orb that's guided humanity for millennia isn't the solid rock we've been told it is, but something far more extraordinary and potentially more sinister? In 1969, when Apollo 12's lunar module crashed into the moon's surface, something impossible happened. The moon rang like a bell for over an hour, reverberating in a way that should be physically impossible for a solid celestial body. NASA scientists were baffled. The data suggested something that challenged everything we understood about our closest cosmic neighbor. Welcome to Sketchy Phenomena, where we explore the theories that make reality feel negotiable. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mind-bending conspiracy theories in existence, the hollow moon theory. We're talking about evidence that suggests our moon might not just be hollow, but potentially harboring ancient alien bases that have been watching humanity for thousands of years. Hit that subscribe button, because what we're about to explore will make you look up at the night sky with completely different eyes. Today we're investigating a theory so wild it sounds like science fiction, but the evidence supporting it is disturbingly compelling. The hollow moon theory suggests that our moon is not a natural satellite at all, but an artificial construction, possibly an ancient spaceship or base created by extraterrestrial intelligence. Before you click away thinking this is just another conspiracy theory, let's examine the scientific anomalies that have led research down this rabbit hole. Let's start with the smoking gun that launched this entire theory. Between 1969 and 1977, NASA conducted seismic experiments on the moon using equipment left behind by Apollo missions. The idea was simple: crash objects into the lunar surface and measure how the impact vibrations traveled through the moon's interior. What they discovered defied all expectations. When the Apollo 12 lunar module was deliberately crashed into the moon in 1969, seismometers detected something extraordinary. The moon didn't just absorb the impact like a solid rock should, it rang like a hollow bell for over an hour. The reverberations continued for 55 minutes, with the vibrations actually increasing in intensity before gradually fading away. Dr. Clive Ross, a NASA scientist involved in the experiments, was quoted as saying the moon reacted like a gong or a bell. When similar experiments were conducted with Apollo 13's third stage booster, which created an impact equivalent to 11 tons of TNT, the moon rang for over 3 hours. This is physically impossible for a solid celestial body. When you strike a solid rock, the vibrations are quickly dampened and absorbed. But a hollow object, like a metal sphere or artificial construction, would ring exactly as the moon did. NASA's own data suggested that our moon behaves more like an artificial structure than a natural satellite. The moon is absolutely massive compared to Earth, about 27% of our planet's diameter. In our solar system, this size ratio is completely unique. Most moons are tiny compared to their parent planets, typically less than 5% of the planet's size. But the moon's orbital characteristics are even stranger. It maintains a perfectly circular orbit at exactly the right distance to appear the same size as the sun from Earth's surface. This creates the phenomenon of total solar eclipses, where the moon precisely covers the sun's disk. The mathematical probability of this happening by chance is astronomical. The moon's rotation is also suspiciously perfect. It's tidally locked with Earth, meaning the same side always faces us. While tidal locking isn't uncommon, the moon's lock is so precise that we never see more than 59% of its surface from Earth. It's as if the moon was deliberately positioned to hide its far side from human observation. Analysis of moon rocks revealed another puzzling anomaly. The moon's composition is remarkably different from Earth's, despite theories suggesting it formed from material ejected during a massive impact with our planet. The moon contains elements and isotope ratios that shouldn't exist if it formed naturally in our solar system. More intriguingly, the moon's density is much lower than it should be for a solid rock of its size. Its overall density is about 60% that of Earth, which is consistent with a large hollow interior surrounded by a relatively thin shell of rocky material. Russian scientists Alexander Sherbakov and Mikhail Vasin were among the first to propose that these anomalies could be explained if the moon were an artificial construction. Their theory, published in the 1970s, suggests that the moon could be a hollow shell created by advanced extraterrestrial intelligence. According to this theory, the moon's interior was either excavated or constructed as a massive space station. The outer shell would provide protection from cosmic radiation and meteorite impacts, while the interior could house entire civilizations, manufacturing facilities, or observation posts. This would explain the moon's unusual density, its perfect orbital characteristics, and its seismic behavior. It would also explain why the far side of the moon, which we couldn't observe until the space age, is covered with significantly more craters and has a much thicker crust than the near side. If the moon is indeed hollow, what might be inside? UFO researchers have compiled decades of reports suggesting ongoing extraterrestrial activity on and around the moon. Astronomers have documented thousands of unexplained lights, color changes, and moving objects on the moon's surface. These events, called lunar transient phenomena or LTP, have been observed and cataloged since the 1700s. NASA maintains an official database of over 2,000 such reports. Several Apollo astronauts reported seeing unusual objects, lights, and structures on the moon. While NASA has provided conventional explanations for most of these sightings, some remain unexplained. Astronaut Edgar Mitchell, who walked on the moon during Apollo 14, later became a vocal advocate for UFO disclosure and claimed that extraterrestrial life has been visiting Earth. High-resolution images from lunar orbiters have revealed geometric structures and objects that appear artificial. While mainstream science attributes these to pareidolia, seeing patterns where none exist, some researchers argue that certain formations show signs of intelligent design. If the moon is hollow, any extraterrestrial bases would likely be located in the interior, protected from the harsh surface environment. These facilities could be vast, potentially housing millions of beings or serving as manufacturing and observation centers for monitoring Earth. The moon contains valuable resources, including rare earth elements and helium-3, which could be used for advanced energy production. A hollow moon could serve as a massive mining operation, with the extracted materials either used on-site or transported elsewhere in the galaxy. One of the most compelling aspects of the hollow moon theory is how it explains humanity's relationship with our satellite. If the moon is an artificial construction, it's perfectly positioned to observe and monitor Earth. Its tidally locked orbit ensures that any observation equipment on the near side would have a constant view of our planet. This monitoring hypothesis suggests that extraterrestrial intelligence has been watching human civilization develop for thousands of years. Ancient cultures worldwide have myths and legends about beings from the moon, and many describe the moon as arriving in Earth's sky relatively recently in human history. The theory proposes that whoever constructed the moon placed it in Earth's orbit to study our planet's development and evolution. The moon's gravitational effects on Earth's tides, axial stability, and climate may have been deliberately engineered to create optimal conditions for life to flourish. Before we get too carried away, let's examine the skeptical counter-arguments. Mainstream science explains the Apollo seismic anomalies through the moon's layered structure and low-gravity environment. The lack of atmosphere and water on the moon means that seismic waves travel differently than they do on Earth, potentially creating the bell-like reverberations observed. The moon's size and orbital characteristics, while unusual, aren't impossible through natural formation processes. The giant impact hypothesis suggests that the moon formed when a Mars-sized object collided with early Earth, ejecting material that eventually coalesced into our satellite. The composition differences between Earth and Moon can be explained by the specific dynamics of this impact event and subsequent formation process. Computer simulations have shown how such an impact could create a satellite with the Moon's observed characteristics. However, these conventional explanations require a remarkable series of coincidences in precise conditions. The probability calculations for the Moon's perfect size, distance, and orbital characteristics occurring naturally are extraordinarily low. Modern lunar missions continue to reveal puzzling data about the Moon's interior. The Gravity Recovery and Interior Laboratory found evidence of massive subsurface structures and density variations that aren't fully explained by conventional models. China's Chang'e missions have also discovered unusual materials and formations on the far side of the Moon. While these findings are interpreted conventionally, they add to the growing body of data suggesting that the Moon's interior is far more complex than previously understood. Recent analysis of Apollo seismic data using modern computer processing has confirmed that the Moon's interior has characteristics unlike any other known celestial body. The data consistently shows evidence of large void spaces and unusual material distributions within the lunar interior. If the hollow moon theory is correct, the implications are staggering. It would mean that extraterrestrial intelligence has been present in our solar system for potentially millions of years, observing and possibly influencing human development. The moon's effects on Earth's tides, climate stability, and biological rhythms might not be coincidental but deliberately engineered to create optimal conditions for life. Many Earth organisms, including humans, have biological cycles tied to lunar phases, suggesting a deep evolutionary connection that might not be entirely natural. The theory also raises questions about humanity's future in space. If the moon houses advanced extraterrestrial technology and possibly active alien bases, our plans for lunar colonization and resource extraction could bring us into direct contact with non-human intelligence. The hollow moon theory presents a compelling alternative explanation for some of the most puzzling aspects of our closest celestial neighbor. While mainstream science offers conventional explanations for the moon's anomalies, the sheer number of coincidences required for natural formations stretches credibility. The seismic evidence alone suggests that the moon's interior is unlike any other known celestial body. Combined with its unusual size, perfect orbital characteristics, and mysterious composition, a picture emerges of something that might not be entirely natural. Whether the moon houses ancient alien bases, serves as a monitoring station for extraterrestrial intelligence, or is simply a very unusual natural satellite, one thing is certain: we still don't fully understand the object that lights up our night sky. What do you think? Is our moon hiding the greatest secret in human history, or are we seeing patterns where none exist? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more sketchy phenomena.